So in yoga, we have this model called Panchakosha. And this is 5 sheaths. So there is physical body, there is our energy body, conscious mind, subconscious mind, and then there is a bliss body. This bliss body is that what allows us to feel the connection, to feel love, peace. So today we are going to address the conscious mind, our mind. So we will focus on thoughts. And possibly some of you heard that to meditate, you need to empty your mind from thoughts. And it's actually, at least in a yoga tradition, we believe that the mind is made of thoughts. So it's impossible to empty the mind from the thoughts. And I would like us to just look at the thoughts today, become more familiar with them. And when we learn that we are not our thoughts, and when we really experience that, because we often hear that we are not our body, we are not our thoughts, but how is it to really experience that we are not the thoughts? That thoughts are basically random. They're random fluctuations of our mind. It's much easier then not to be taken for a ride. You can watch thoughts as if you were watching train with all the cars. And you can choose to either jump on the car and go for a ride or not. Or also like with strangers, there are strangers in the street and someone can come to you and start talking to you, and you can engage in a conversation or even go for a walk with a person, or you may choose not to. So it's your choice. The same thing is with thoughts. You can choose to entertain a thought, maybe get into the story, kind of dragged into the story, be taken for a ride or not. So this is very useful when we have thoughts that are not very positive. Sometimes there are worrisome thoughts. It takes practice, but we can learn to recognize the thoughts as they come and choose not to engage with them. And we can choose to replace them. So we may sometimes think that we have many thoughts in our mind at the same time. But in reality, there is only one thought at a time. The thoughts are very fast and there are many of them. So sometimes it looks like we have many thoughts in our mind at the same time. But in reality, when you start watching them and take time to observe them, you will see that there's just one thought. And then it changes and then it changes. But at the same time, you only have one thought. So it is possible to replace that thought. It's a little bit like working on our mind, and working on the thoughts is a little bit like gardening. So it's much easier to pluck a weed when it's very small, when it just starts, when it doesn't take over your whole garden. With thoughts, it's exactly like that. Just plucking them when they're really small and not as invasive yet, when they haven't invaded your whole mind yet, your whole garden. You can still replace them or just pluck them. So the meditation that we will work on today is kind of a practice like of this gardening, is learning how to do that. What is useful is A, to remember that there is just one thought, B, to remember that you can choose not to engage with it, which is not that easy, but it's possible and gets easier and easier with practice. And the third thing, remembering that there are only 5, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, one of the main texts in yoga, there are 5 types of thoughts. And any given thought you can classify to one of these categories. So the first one is memory. So the thoughts may be your memories. There may be imagination. there may be perception. So it may be, oh, this is itching me, or, I hear something. Then there is sleep. So there are dreams, another thought. And the last one is wrong perception, which we usually don't know at the moment. At the moment, we think it's a perception. So it's, let's say we hear something and we think it's a child crying, and it really is cat nap, in March or something like that. So, or we think it's a lawnmower and it's really something, a car. So this is wrong perception, but it's also a thought. So anything that comes to our mind, anything that appears in the mind is just one of those 5 categories. And it's good to actually, as you're watching, as you are taking time to watch your thoughts, to practice that, like saying, oh, what is that? I have a thought and let me see what it is. And it's much easier than to realize that thoughts are not you, and that you actually watch the thoughts, and that you have some control and something to say in the terms of engaging or not with those thoughts. So I think we have enough of an intro, and we can start our practice. So I will invite you to sit in a comfortable position. Is it a cross-legged position? You can use your meditation cushion or bench, or sit in a chair. Or if this is impossible for you sitting, you can also lie down, but just make sure that the position is not so cozy that you fall asleep. So make sure that your back, as you're sitting, that your back is fairly straight. So your spine, your neck, the top of your head are in more or less in one line. Your hands can be on your lap or in your thighs, with your fingers, the middle, the index fingers and thumbs together. So this is called Chin Mudra. Or you can just have one hand on the other. So just like that, in your lap. Whatever works better for you. Or if you have any other mudra that you work with, you can use that too. You can close your eyes or keep them open. If you decide to keep them open, make sure your side is, you're looking down, like maybe just looking down, so your eyes don't go all over the place. So if you look in one place, you choose just one spot and maybe have this side a little bit soft. And just notice how you feel. Notice your physical body first. Just take time. It's very important to take time to make sure that the body is in the right position. You want to wiggle, if you want to change your position at the moment, just make sure that the body is completely comfortable, as comfortable as it can be. So it doesn't call for your attention as you're meditating. If you need to fidget it, if you need to move anything, then just come to your body and ask the questions if the body is feeling okay. So you may come to your legs, to your feet, to your legs, and just notice if the legs are comfortable, as relaxed as they can be at the moment. Your hips are comfortable. Your abdomen. Especially pay attention to your back. Your spine is holding your upper body, making sure that you're not slouching too much. Notice your shoulders. Shoulders should be relaxed if possible. Your face as relaxed as it can be. And then notice your breath. Is your breath comfortable? Is it soft? Or maybe a little bit labored? Maybe shallow? See if it's possible for you to deepen your breath just a little bit. Breathing in a way that promotes that easiness, that comfort, that relaxation. If possible, through your nose. If not, breathing through your mouth is okay as well. But if possible, breathing through your nose, that will help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response in the body. See where you feel that breath. Is it your chest, your abdomen, both, or some other part of the body? So just for a few moments, be with your breath and be really aware of that breath. You may even want to count the length of inhalations and exhalations. See if it's possible to extend your exhalations a little bit. Make sure it feels comfortable and that it's easy for you. If it becomes challenging, that means that you're doing too much. Trying to extend your exhalation may be a little bit too much. Just find a comfortable ratio for you, a ratio that is calming. And when you're inhaling, just know that you're inhaling. And when you exhale, just know that you're exhaling. So may follow that breath for a few moments, noticing how your body is responding to it. How your body responds to this breath. And let go of any control of the breath. Allow the breath to just be. And now let's bring our awareness to the thoughts. So imagine that you're looking at the garden or field, and the thoughts are growing there. Whenever you realize that thought in your head, in your mind, you may say to yourself, oh, it's a thought. If you want to categorize it, see if that's a memory or imagination, a dream, a perception. You can do that. If not, just notice a thought and acknowledge that this thought came, that it appeared, and then let it go. You can choose to let it go and wait for another thought to come. And anything that appears in your mind is a thought. So just watch that for a moment. Any thought that comes, just acknowledge, categorize or not, and then let it go. And then you'll see another thought coming. And do just exactly the same thing. You can choose to spend some time with that thought if it's pleasant, but also pretty quickly let it go. That's the practice. So I will hold the space for you as you keep practicing for some time, noticing thoughts coming and thoughts disappearing. And you may realize how the thoughts, when you just allow them to be, how they jump from one to the other, how random they are. Anytime you realize that the thoughts are taking you for a ride, that you are spending too much time building a story around the thoughts, entertaining it, and when you let it go, see how long does it take for the next thought to appear. And you may bring more awareness, more attention to the space between the thoughts. So if you can visualize it, it would be like thoughts being clouds, and you're watching the clouds, and the space between them will be the space, the sky that's always there, and the thoughts are just appearing on the clear sky. So the thoughts are appearing in our mind, and then when they go, there is that time without thought. In the beginning, it's probably very quick, very short period of time. But as we practice, we can expand thoughts, periods without thoughts, the space between the thoughts. That's a pure awareness. It's just awareness, not tinted by anything, just awareness. See how practicing of expanding that moments of awareness works for you. Now I would invite you to bring your awareness back to your breath and notice the quality of your breath now. Notice what is present in your body. Look at the quality of your mind at this moment. Thoughts, the frequency of the thoughts, intensity, quality. And you can bring more awareness to the senses, allowing the sounds to come to you. Feeling the sensations in your body. If you like moving your toes, your fingers, you may do that. And whenever you feel ready, slowly, taking your time. Your eyes were closed to open your eyes. Slowly, first unfocused gaze, and then coming more to the focused. Om Shanti. Om Peace.